After enough reflection, it becomes apparent that our time here on Earth is abysmally futile when viewed within the confines of our known physical reality. As discussed in detail in my other video, Why a Nihilist Could Believe in God, the point of our time here on Earth would seem to distill down to simple individual experiences, our relationships with one another, and the continuation of laying the foundations for the experiences of those to come. In this video, it was also speculated that our random rebirth back into a world we collectively created would be the most fitting collective reward or punishment based on our combined actions during our previous lives. In this video, I want to discuss another aspect of this idea that our continued collective individual experiences are the core purpose of our existence, and that is how individuals interact with one another in terms of impacting each other's experiences. As stated before, given the horrendous fates some of us face each lifetime, it is clear that individual justice in any conceptual form does not exist. If the concept of justice exists at all, it must be in a collective sense. So how could an individual's interaction with another be weighted by such a system that has personal experiences as its central premise, be it subjectively good or bad? I would propose that it is intent and will, in a world where the plausible deniability of a higher power, and so the illusion of free will, is paramount. One of the more notable areas where this plausible deniability becomes thin is in an individual's will and intent. There are enough medical and statistical examples of individuals achieving extraordinary feats, seemingly through sheer willpower. To be sure, there will always be physical constraints and a plausible, if improbable, explanation. Plausible deniability must be maintained after all, but the extent of how much an active individual can overcome is truly remarkable. The desire to enact change, the desire to experience, to actively engage life with a goal to grow as a person, an intent and a will to see it through, regardless of whether the outcome is subjectively good or evil, whether short or long term. This is what it means to engage life, and life has a surprising tendency to support people who are actively engaging in it, regardless of motive. In contrast, reactive individuals have no goal other than to maintain the status quo, no further intent than to keep existing as they are, even if this, paradoxically, requires a herculean amount of effort to maintain. These individuals do not seek to grow or change as a person, but to simply survive as they are from one circumstance to another. They are effectively observers. Granted, these individuals will still experience life, but more so as a consequence of circumstances than an active creator of circumstance. It is worth repeating at this stage that the effort is not necessarily growth. You can put in a huge amount of effort into being reactive or maintaining the status quo. I propose that this thing we collectively call life notably favors the active over the reactive. Those seeking change and growth, be this change subjectively good or bad, over those wanting to maintain their internal status quo. Young children understand the concept of do long before they understand the concept of don't. Life, all life, is driven by what it does, not by what it does not. I would also propose that many of the health issues seen today, many mental and some physical, are significantly impacted by an individual's engagement or lack thereof in life, whether they are active or reactive, whether they are growing as a person, seeking to change themselves, or simply maintaining the status quo. This is the true flower of youth that modern society tries to restrain, attempting to turn everyone into individuals that are content to simply react to the life that they have been given, instead of acting to improve their situation through real change within themselves, and subsequently change the world around them. Our subconscious can sense these false freedoms, the true limits of our ability to grow as individuals, and the circumstances which are forced upon us by others, and it is making us sick. The yoke that smothers us all is one of fear to act. No wonder superhero films are so popular. Anyone who has agency at all, and can act on it, are automatically seen as seemingly superpowered. We are all agents in this life. We are all collectively responsible for how this world turns out. Doing nothing is, ironically, a choice. I believe that with the knowledge that we are really do inherit the world we create, we become fearless to act for the benefit of ourselves and our collective children. There will always be those acting for their own selfish intent, but the majority of us will always want the best for society as a whole. The masses have been passivized to the advantage of a few for too long. It is time to wake up, act fearlessly and with positive intent to change who we are, organize, and through our personal growth enact real change in every level of society for the benefit of the majority. We are the majority. We want to grow as individuals, and we cannot be contained. Equality in opportunity to grow and change as individuals. Fraternity in our tolerance of others, and the desire to improve the opportunity to grow for all, and the liberty to choose for oneself our own path. Something worth dying for indeed. We do it for all. We do it for ourselves.